want to really ask you guys is, I've seen that they are more concerned about their system, their structure, than maybe winning games. Because you've seen
Simeone was to be in the Premier League, would he still have his job? Because I've seen him be at Atletico for seasons, and it's just second, third. Do you think if he was at the EPL, would he still have his job?
100%. Because before Simone picked Atletico Madrid, go and check the number. Very good. Even though Sam is saying maybe if it was to be England, he wouldn't have retained his job or something. Now he's competing against some of the best two teams in the Spanish league. That is Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, these two teams are the heavyweights in the league. So he coming from, I tell you, he was 11. Atletico were a bit 11 at a point in time, 8 until he picked the team second, third, to the extent that he was first when he brought in. He won the league when he included Luis Suarez in there. So now when people even talk about Atletico Madrid, the first thing that comes to their mind is Diego Simeone. Just like Gasparini is to Atalanta. Whenever you mention Atalanta, we know it's Gasparini. So Diego Simeone will be there for a long time, and what he's doing. Look at he has even given birth for his son to even play the team. Is it Gabi Simeone or something like that? The name. So Diego Simeone, if it was to be England, he would have been better than what he's doing now, because he's playing basically like how the English league is being set up defensively, a little bit of offensive flair and some good proper wingers at the side, but defensively he's one of the good managers I know. So per what Sam asked, Diego Simeone would have done a better job. Jurgen Klopp won only one league for Liverpool in 9 years, so bear in mind. So if Diego Simeone has also been able to win just one and he's still doing well, I think so. I'm not trying to compare with Jurgen Klopp, but I think he's a very, very good manager.
Yeah, for me, I think, yes, he would have had his job in the Premier League, because if you look at Simeone, especially at Atletico, when it comes to financial backing, they don't really invest into players. It's like this season, I've seen Atletico putting money into 2 strikers. I was even surprised. And even buying Gallagher. You could see that mostly was more of old players who are looking for places to, like, maybe they want to play the Spanish La Liga. They are not getting chance to the Real Madrid, the Barcelona, and they just move there. Now it's like they're investing because it has gotten to the time. The fans are complaining about attacking-wise. They are not that solid. That's why we are seeing Alvarez, we are seeing Solot, we are seeing Griezmann, we are seeing a whole lot of players and additions. And I think his performance at the start of the season was very poor, because he wasn't used to having a lot of attackers. He wasn't used to having this type of rotational type of attackers. So he was a bit suffering, but he has been able to get a good balance of the team. He went almost 15 games or 10 games unbeaten. And I think if he was in the Premier League, and maybe he's coaching a team like the Tottenhams, or even with this Atletico team in the Premier League, with this performance here, we would have gotten a lot of financial backings, because there are other colleagues or other clubs buying, so he would have bought and he would have done well. He's one of the top coaches, especially when it comes to playing in the Champions League or playing in these competitions. As Raf said, Atletico were nobody when it comes to the Spanish La Liga, but he changed that narrative. And if he was in any other team, I think he would have gotten there a lot of backing and done a lot of transactions. I think in the Champions League, his only problem has been Real Madrid. Every time when he gets to that particular level, he beats Real Madrid and Real Madrid takes them out. He was the first manager in 2022 or in 2020. He came to Anfield to beat Liverpool at Anfield. He made even people believe that you can go to Anfield and beat Liverpool, and he did that. Yes. So I think, to me, I think he's one of the best coaches, especially just with the club he's in, and the financial backing has been the problem. That's why maybe we think he has been second, third. But compared to the Real Madrid, Barcelona, they are doing a lot of transfers. Even Barcelona not having money, look at the players they are adding up. And Real Madrid are also adding the Mbappes. He can, because of the financial backing, but I think he's a very quality coach. So Prince.
Yeah, just like you made mention of, Simeone is very good, because I think the whole world, he's the highest paid coach.
Yes.
And yeah, he's the highest paid coach. The guy is good. The guy is really good. It's just unfortunate he doesn't have that quality, and just like you mentioned, the financial backing. You know, it's in recent times that you could see that the team owners even spend that much on players like that, because looking at those times, you could have a player like Jaffran playing for, so the guy is old but he still be playing, and they had a defender called Gordon or something like that.
Diego Gordon.
You grind international.
Yeah, they had old players.
Gabi, Koki.
There are some players who go and still come back. Murata, Costa,
Fernando Torres.
So we've had issues with finance, and I believe that it's not a fault of the coach. So he's good. Honestly, if he's to be in the APL, he will coach some of this top clubs, and he will make his name over there.
Okay, we're talking about coaches. I want us to look at some of the new coaches coming into, because Simeone has been one of the old guards. Let's look at some of the new coaches. The Enzo Marescas, the Artetas, the companies, the Ruben Amorims, and the rest.
The Fabregas.
The Fabregas, yes. Fabregas is also doing very, very well.
Fabregas.
So let's look at some of these new coaches coming up. One thing I want to really ask you guys is, I've seen that they are more concerned about their system, their structure, than maybe winning games. Because we've seen with Enzo Maresca, I'm adding all of them so that we can just pick any of them and just re-highlight on them. With Enzo Maresca, we see Chelsea, when Chelsea is struggling, he's still stuck with a particular type of philosophy he has. He wants to go with this, and he wants to end the season at least with that particular style. We've seen Ruben Amorim too at Man United with something similar. Though the team is struggling, he doesn't want to change the style. He wants to let the players understand what they want to do. We've seen Xabi Alonso at Bayern Leverkusen. He did so well, and this season it's like he's trying to be more dynamic and is worrying his side. We've seen company even taking Burnley to relegation and getting the Bayern Munich job. With these new coaches coming up, what do you think is the problem? Especially, are they overlearning, or they are not understanding the style of football that Jose Mourinho used to teach, that Ancelotti's used to teach? Is more about winning and trophies. But now these coaches are more based on style of play, the tactics, and a whole lot. So we can pick any coach that we want to highlight on, and we get our viewers in depth on how we think they are setting up, and maybe what are the wrongs they are also doing.
Okay, let me start with this. Yeah, I think for every coach, they come in with a system which has worked for them already, yes, and they want that system to work for them.
Work again.
Wherever they are. With Ruben, it worked at Sporting, and I think he's hoping for it to also work at Manchester United. I said this last week that for Manchester United, it's a sequence of bad buys or bad decisions. Our director even said it in his last interview with Neville, that they bought some players that really wasn't fit for some system and stuff like that. If you go back to the coaches like Mourinho's and the Benitez, the Ferguson's, it was the same system that they played in. Ferguson had the same system. So each and every year and out, even if he sells his big players, all he needs is to just find someone to replace that person in that sales spot, and it works. But I feel like, and back then too, we had team owners that really understood the game and allowed managers to have their say in the game. They wasn't really into the market value and how to get high purchases and stuff like that. But with now, I think the tempo has really changed from performing on the pitch to more of a business style of football. So even with Maresca, remember when Pochettino was there, he was playing a system that wasn't really fitting into the players that were there. So what they did was they brought in a coach that had a similar system to the players that he had, a fast tempo system, because they had young players that were really active and could really run. And it's working in a way. If we are checking from the last era of Pochettino to Maresca now, it's far better. So I think it's okay to stick with a system if you know it will work for you, because it's that system that made the team count for you. It's not really about how you could change the system. With Ole, if we could actually remember, Ole had a more stable system that he was playing. In his one of his interviews that I watched, he said all changed when he brought in when CR7, and if he could go back in time, he would have made that purchase again, because when he came in, the whole system had to change, and it was a system that was already working. We say this: you don't change a winning team. So I think if the system is not working, the club, the fans should be patient for the manager to get in players that he feels that they fit in the system and he could work with. I watched Manchester United match with Sociedad, and we saw a glimpse of hope. I think for some seasons, for some matches now, is the best I've seen them play. I watched Doku play and how he could progress from the back to front and still run back. You could see that if time is given to Ruben and he could get in his own players, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like systems do work, but it depends on the players that you came to meet. And we now we have that we have teams that have, or clubs that have that other sport directors buying players for the coach instead, and not the coach really buying the players. It's both sides. Yes, it's kind of you just bringing in players and saying, listen, let them fit into a system. But every coach knows who he wants to play with and who he does not want to play with. We are praising Enrique just now, but you realize when he came in, he said, listen, I need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. So he was okay with even allowing Mbappe to leave, because he knew that let me bring in players that will listen to me, that will fit in my system and play. I believe systems should be stuck with, and if coaches are given the space to play, then yes, it will work out for them.
Okay, Ralph, let's look at, you mentioned Fabregas at Como with the performance he's putting up there. He has been under a lot of coaches. I think if we are talking about a player who has worked under a lot of coaches, it would be Fabregas. Under Pep Guardiola, under Arsene Wenger, under Carlo Ancelotti, the Antonio Contes, the Mauricio Sarris, top coaches. So he has learned a lot from them. What do you think, as a player moving into coaching now, what do you think he has been able to adapt from these coaches that is making him one of the top coaches in the Serie A? Because at Como, his performance now is very up there. Even though he's a newly promoted side, he's really doing things, going head to head with Napoli, the Lazio, the Juventus, making sure his club is performing so well. What do you think he has adapted compared to other young managers coming into the game?
If you go to Spain, years back, I listened to one coach on radio in Ghana, and the coach said, if you go to Spain, and if you go to their technical centers where they teach or maybe they analyze football, they have what we call the Spanish Bible, which is based on systems and tactics about coaches and how to deploy your players, how to move up, basically systems. So I think Spain is grooming some fine, correct coaches for football now. And looking at the coaches that Fabregas went through, I believe even some of the players, whilst they are playing, they are learning about the game, going for courses and other things. It has really helped Fabregas. But one manager I want to pick and talk about him is De Zerbi. Fantastic manager from Brighton. Look at the structure. And as Sam was saying, the system, the structure is very, very important. I'll talk about De Zerbi, but let me talk about the structure before I go to the system. In talking about the structure, before Ancelotti came to Liverpool, in mentioning the young coaches, Benedict, you didn't mention Ancelotti. He's also a young coach. He's in his 40s, late 40s, so he's also a young manager. Well, before Slot came in, the structure was there. He just had to just come and then fix him in there. The structure was already there. And I remember before he came, Klopp officially announced his name at our stadium where our fans were there, and they cheered him on with songs, and he even composed a song for Ancelotti right there. So the system was already there. and he came and he fixed, do this. And I also read that Klopp even gave every video, training video he had with the team before he left. They have recorded everything on tape for him to just be able to, and not only the training, some games Liverpool played, they were able to analyze everything for Ancelotti. So the structure is very, very important. When the structure is not in a good shape, no manager, every manager who comes in will struggle. So at the moment, there are other conditions of the game who are even criticizing Alex Ferguson, that he didn't put things right. Alex Ferguson is being criticized that he didn't put things right because he left and the team was broken down totally. In human resource, Benedict, we call something succession plan. What was the succession plan United had before Ferguson left? No, nothing. But Liverpool made sure that we were able to fix him.
I think
in a proper way.
I think with Ferguson, he recommended, I think it was David Moyes that time.
Yeah.
They should bring in David Moyes. But I think not just recommendation, it should come with, as you said, Club lets a lot of plans, training videos, tapes, and everything for them to continue. But I think David Moyes just had to jump into the job as that time a young manager coming up, and he was, let's say, overflown by this Man United fans. It wasn't like the Everton fans he used to work with. This was a whole community, a whole nation on its own. So with Ferguson, as you said, I think it's also something he didn't help in Man United. So please continue.
Don't you think it's two different eras?
Okay, yes, that can also be a factor because I think maybe with Ferguson's time, the tactics weren't that in-depth like now. Now we have set-piece coaches, we have throwing coaches, we have like players having dietitians and a whole lot of things. I think those times it was more about the passion for the game and the respect for the managers. And let's go into the game. We are going to play maybe against us now. Let's go in and just beat them because we are rivals and a whole lot of things. Maybe that was also something. But I think in all, there was something Ferguson should at least helped. But I think maybe he would have at least putting in one or two things. Because I remember Mourinho having a conversation that Ferguson gave him a call about him purchasing some particular players. So maybe there would have been one or two calls to the coaches. So please continue.
Yes. So back to Cesc Fabregas, De Zerbi and Cesc Fabregas. I watched the video where Fabregas was talking about systems, and he said he believes that the football to him should be enjoyed and should be very dynamic. You don't have to be static to one position. Sometimes I watch Liverpool play, and you see that Alexis McAllister is at the left side of midfield throughout the game. You hardly see him move unless maybe Liverpool is defending a counter-attack or something. That is when you're going to see Alexis McAllister moving to the right side of midfield. But Fabregas is saying that it should be so dynamic to the point that even at any point in time, wherever you see there's danger looming anywhere, the moment you're on the field, you can be able to help in any particular position. I say, wow, if he has this mindset, he's trying to encourage and bring a different style of system into the game. So these new managers,
but I'm coming. Isn't that too a system?
It's a system.
Yes, but I think that is what the Spanish call total football. So Pep Guardiola, Hansi Flick, they do you need to cover spaces, not a stick like you are just at a particular position. If there is a ball passing at the other end, you just have to call somebody. But you need to you people a rotational type of game. I think that is what even Luis Enrique is now playing now.
Yes, and also before Pep Guardiola has had a very big influence on his managers.
Yes,
with the Ajax and Slot, who are some of his top managers, he mentioned Pep Guardiola, De Zerbi, and one manager like this. Arteta went through the tutelage of Pep Guardiola, Eric Ten Hag, Vincent Kompany, and did Enzo Maresca?
Yes, Enzo Maresca.
Yes. So look at the top managers who has been through his tutelage or his guidance. So Guardiola has had a very big influence. Normally, when we were watching football and the goalkeeper was going to kick the ball inside, you see that there are two players who drop into the 16 box to receive the ball. Guardiola was one who started that. And even 3 seasons ago, where he made he played John Stones as I forgot the name of the role he gave John Stones. Whenever City were attacking, you see John Stones in the middle of the pitch.
Yes.
And whenever he defend, you see
the middle of the
central defender. Yes. Invented central defender. Guardiola is a master of the game, but unfortunately, he's having some issues this season and then it's not going well. So I feel Pep Guardiola that guy should really be celebrated. He has influenced a lot of new managers coming up. And I believe next season is going to bring something new also on board, which is going to help the game as at large and also as well.
Okay, so let's look at, if you are to pick your 3 top managers, 3 young managers coming up, who will be your top 3?
Difficult one. I'll pick De Zerbi 1. No, I'll pick Ancelot 1 because of what he did with Feyenoord in the Dutch league. He also being my coach. Then De Zerbi, I think Olympic Marseille are second on the table now in French league. I stand to be corrected. And then the third one, I would have picked Amorim, but he's struggling with Man United. So, Lot, De Zerbi, and give me time. Let me think about the third person.
Won't you go for Arteta? He has done so well with the Arsenal set.
Yes, Mikel Arteta.
Prince wouldn't have understand.
Even Prince no choose Arteta. Even Prince no choose Arteta.
Sam, let's look at your top 3 young managers coming up. Which managers would you pick for the top 3?
De Zerbi, I think yes. I think he's doing very well with which is his new style of play. I think he's doing very well. I think there is I really admire Maresca too. Like, to be honest, I think what he did with Leicester and what he's doing with Chelsea now. Chelsea was in a very bad place. Let's be honest. To you to come and take players that you had no say with their transfers and do this with them, I think he's supposed to be there. I think not because he's at Manchester, but I think Ruben will be there instead. Manchester is in shambles already, but I think bring even the best coach in there and still it will be an issue. But with reference to what he did in sports, and I think he's very good. So De Zerbi, Maresca, and Ruben. Not forgetting this young Manchester. Was he an assistant coach?
The one at Ipswich?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary something.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's doing well too. It's just that he's in a very bad team, but he's doing very well.
So, Prince, let's look at these new managers coming up. As an Arsenal fan, Arteta was from an assistant coach, a main head coach at Arsenal, a team that was in a bad state. People were looking at who can come and save us. And during some seasons now at Arsenal, though he hasn't won enough major trophies as the fans want, but tactically, he has added a lot to your team. So let us know, do you think Arteta being a new manager is something that has helped Arsenal up to this time? Because I think last season he set a record that he won most games in the Premier League than even the invisible team. And do you think he coming in has been a good addition to your team? And what is the tactics that you think he has improved, especially with this whole Arsenal setup and also the players?
Personally, I think Arteta is one of the best managers we have in the Premiership.
Yeah. I think the second best.
So he has given us so much to hold on to, that we now have that hope of being in the top 4.
Okay.
You get it. Every season, at least for the past 3-4 seasons, there's this hope that, okay, at the end of the season, at least we get to play Champions League the following season. Okay. And fine, I understand people are complaining that we're supposed to win a major trophy. But I believe when you listen to what Saliba said in a press conference, I think over the week, it was like they are desperate to also win it themselves. You understand? Mm-hmm. Sometimes people think we being outside want it more than the players, but they equally want it to themselves. So I feel like we should just give him time to come out good. He's a very good coach, honestly, because when you look at the way you play as a team, it's there's this kind of compactness that he comes with, kind of mentality. Look at our defense, look at our setup, our structure. We have a very good team, and we have a good coach to us. So I believe that we should just give him time, at least from next two seasons. I don't think if the owners have a problem, they wouldn't have given him 3 years extension. They gave him 3 years extension to 1 year. So I don't know why others are complaining. Especially those who are 15.
Those who are not supporting us now, they are the ones complaining.
I'm coming. Prince, let's say if Ruben managed to win the Europa this season, that will be 3 seasons of Manchester United picking trophies each and every season. Do you still take Arteta to still manage your team, even if he goes like this, like second place, third team without a trophy?
A trophy, yes. I think it's a good question.
Oh yeah, honestly, I don't know, but I'm really not looking forward to Arteta giving us that silverware, the way people are team solid. Then when the trophies are coming, we now feel like, okay, we work for this, so let's start getting the trophies in. So I honestly, for me, we don't win next season. It's cool. We still believe in him. He can get us there. We'll definitely win us probably a Champions League this season. You may not know, because we are still in the Champions League. No, you see,
this is your core.
Listen.
I think you should advise yourself because of what Raf said at that time.
Ask Raf.
You should advise yourself.
I'm not going to say. I'm going to 2-0 first half. I'm saying that we have.
I would like to touch on the coaching bit a little bit.
Okay.
Concerning what Sam said, and then if maybe Arteta is not able to win a trophy and the Man United winning a trophy this season, and said normally many coaches have been judged on the number of trophies they win.
You win, yes.
But sometimes I also feel like the structure and how the team is playing, and the direction they're heading towards is also very, very important.
Yeah, okay. The impact
in a cup competition, you can be lucky to swerve some big guys, and then bam, you are in the finals. You understand? We've seen Leicester City winning the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I think either where Tielemans scored against, is it Chelsea?
Yes,
Tielemans, he scored one just a goal.
Yeah,
exactly. They were able to move, and gradually they faced some. Yes, they were able to maneuver their way, and they swerved some big boys, and they were able to win a trophy. Yes, someone will say they won a trophy, but after winning that trophy, how has the team been positioned in the league in general? The direction the team is heading towards is very, very important, even though they are not winning the trophy. But I feel the way they are playing, by all means, they will touch silverware. They are going to get a silverware in their cabinet. They are not playing badly at all.
But I'm coming. This comes back to what I was saying about Diego Simeone, right? Listen, EPL with the fans and the rivalry, it's more about bragging rights. So if you are second, no one cares. It just, what did you win that season?
What did you win? Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I was asking this question. If Diego was to be in the EPL without trophies and was just second and third place, would he still keep his job? Because I feel like now, if Arsenal win one match, the fans are happy. If they lose the next match, you have some fans saying it's time for him to move, right? So I'm saying, if he does not win any trophy this season, and it goes next season, because let's be honest, if Chelsea and Man U get back into their normal form, Arsenal will hardly be in this Champions League conversation or trophy conversation, and it has been there for years and years now. Listen, this is the same Arsenal you've seen play in the last 4 seasons, the last 5 seasons. When Chelsea was winning, City was winning, and Liverpool was winning. But what I think is changing now is two teams are basically out. Man U and Chelsea are out. So it's more of Liverpool and City. So Arsenal is more in the conversation. What happens if Man U and Chelsea comes back in the conversation? Will they still be third? Or will they still be second? Because Arsenal can't comfortably beat Man U, or they can't comfortably beat Chelsea. So if they get back into their top form.
But Sam, I think with Arteta's situation has been like the club situation. It will take time, but the right trophy would come. Because with club, it took 7 years, and we could see that if we have to put out club's trophies, it's more of like one Premier League, one Champions League, one Carabao, one FA, in the space of 7 years. But we could see the impact he has been able to create on this team. We saw Jose Mourinho too under Chelsea. Chelsea weren't having that winning mentality, but he was able to set those grounds. Jose Mourinho in his first season won the Premier League. After that, couldn't even win the Champions League or anything with Chelsea. But he set that winning mentality.
Klopp had glimpse of winning the league. We've seen point as close as one.
Klopp went into 2 European Champions League. That's the Europa against Villarreal or Sevilla and lost. Everybody was surprised to that. Yes, people were like, he couldn't even stay because that is not Liverpool standards. But I think with time, with Arteta, I think the only thing has been he has been just stubborn. Arteta needed a striker this season. He knew that going into the season, he should have had a striker. And he was very stubborn, went in for Kai Havertz. And if Arteta had a clinical striker who could give him 20, 30 plus goals, I think Arsenal's season would have been different compared to what they are now.
Benedict, last season, Arsenal scored the highest goals in the field. We didn't have a striker, right? So, personally, I don't think the problem is with the striking role. Because this is when we came in, we had a left back. We had
a DM.
A left back. But we went again to get us another left back from in California. You understand? So you can clearly see that even without a striker, we are still scoring the goals. We scored a PSV 7 goals and another 2 goals. That makes it 9. So the issue is not about getting a striker. Fine, we know we need that target man to give us maybe 20, 25 goals a season. But this is a team that has been building for some years now. You know some years back, when we are going to play against City, sorry, the fear. We were so afraid of City. But now, we are not scared of City anymore. We are not scared of Chelsea. We are not scared of Liverpool. We are not scared of all these guys anymore. We can go 18 matches unbeaten with these top guys. You understand? That is what I'm looking out for. Let's build this. From there, we can look at getting a trophies in.
Is what Wenger did and what Arteta did. If we are comparing these two, isn't it? Yes, Wenger won the Invincible. That's aside. But listen, when he wasn't winning trophies, he was in the conversation. He was really challenging with Klopp.
Because at that time it was just him and Arsene and that was it.
That time we had coaches. We had Benitez. We had Ferguson. We had
Benitez at Liverpool.
Yes, it was quite tough. This is what I'm saying. Now we have teams in shambles now, and Klopp gave City a very tight run. Let's not forget that Klopp gave City a very tight run with at times 1 point difference, or at times we waiting to the last game to see that if
it was just 1 point against
or City win. But Arsenal now, if Arsenal is behind you, every team is comfortable. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. There's no pressure on Liverpool. There was no pressure on City because they know that, listen, they don't have the fighting spirit to actually come out and play like that. So if it goes on next season and the other season, personally, I think he will not survive it. I think if he does not win any trophy or he doesn't win trophy this season and next season, the fans themselves will start saying, listen, time is up and you have to go.
But
Pochettino.
But Sam, for how long are you going to continue sacking managers and bringing in new managers?
Yes, that's one thing.
I believe in consistency. Sacking a manager for another person, he's going to start the whole project afresh, which is going to affect the entire team.
I think some
you better give the manager time for the manager to do it once and for all.
Listen, I'm all for this, but let's be real. This is EPL. Most of the time, it's the fans that inside the coaches before the team is inside the coaches. It's about bragging rights. Do you get what I'm saying? Most of our issues has been the fact that we haven't stuck with one coach for a very long time. I still believe if we had given some of the coaches more time at Man U, things would have been different. But we all know the situation now in EPL. We don't have. There are some teams, the top 4 teams, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool United. They are used to winning trophies. So if you come in and first season, second season, you are cool. But third, fourth season, if you are not winning trophies, they are not like Tottenham that will say, okay, let's build a team. They are used to winning trophies. Chelsea is used to winning trophies. Man U is used to winning trophies. Same as Liverpool. So they want to see trophies. No one cares about second or third. What would they do with it? So I'm saying, I feel like they've given him much time. Arsenal needs a major trophy to be in that conversation. So I feel like if next season or next 2 seasons, personally, if he does not win any major trophy, he won the FA Cup, not based on his team. Let's not forget that. He won the trophy based on a team that what's his name? That coach, is it Unai Emery built, and he won a trophy with them. With his own team, the best he has done is second place.